264 BCE, Rome and Carthage are locked in the First Punic War. To win, Rome must cross the sea and strike at the heart of Carthage itself. But one thing stands in its way: the Carthaginian navy. Everything now rests on a single, massive gamble. One naval battle to decide the fate of the war. If Rome's fleet fails here, the invasion of Africa is impossible. In the next 9 minutes, you'll understand how a land power, new to naval warfare, forced a path to Africa by fighting one of the largest sea battles in human history. This is the story of Cape Ecnomus. After early naval victories, the Roman Senate realized a hard truth: the war would never end if they just kept fighting in Sicily. The only way to achieve total victory was to invade North Africa and threaten Carthage directly. It was a bold, almost reckless plan. Rome assembled a colossal fleet, over 300 warships and transports, with a single mission: land an army on enemy soil. The consuls Marcus Atilius Regulus and Lucius Manlius Vulso were put in command. For Rome, this was an all-or-nothing move. But there was a serious mismatch. Carthage was the master of the seas. Its sailors were seasoned veterans who had spent generations perfecting naval tactics. They could outmaneuver and ram enemy ships with terrifying skill. Rome, on the other hand, was a land power. Their navy was new, their sailors inexperienced. So they brought what they knew best to the sea: close-quarters combat. Their secret weapon was the corvus, a heavy boarding bridge with a sharp spike that would slam down onto an enemy deck, locking the two ships together. This turned a naval battle into a fight on land where Roman legionaries excelled. It was clumsy, but brutally effective. To protect their vulnerable transport ships carrying the legions, the Romans devised a clever formation. They arranged their fleet into a massive wedge. 2 squadrons of warships formed the front, protecting a 3rd squadron that was towing the horse transports. A 4th squadron acted as a rear guard, shielding the entire formation from behind. The goal wasn't elegance. It was to create a floating fortress, a shield to get their army safely across the sea. The Carthaginians, led by Hamilcar and Hanno, saw this armada set sail from Sicily and knew they had to intercept it. Near Cape Ecnomus, off the southern coast of Sicily, the 2 largest fleets ever assembled prepared for battle. The Carthaginian plan was to shatter the Roman formation. Hamilcar, commanding the center, advanced directly on the Roman wedge, then feigned a retreat. He wanted to lure the 2 lead Roman squadrons into a chase, separating them from the transports. The Roman commanders, Regulus and Vulso, took the bait. They broke formation and pursued Hamilcar, hungry for a quick victory. At the same time, the Carthaginian right wing swung around and attacked the Roman rear guard. Their left wing struck the exposed transports, which had cut their tow lines to escape. The Roman fleet was suddenly split into 3 separate battles. For a moment, it looked like the Carthaginian plan was working perfectly. The Roman formation was broken, their transports under heavy assault. But the Romans' raw determination and their secret weapon, the corvus, turned the tide. The lead Roman squadrons, having driven off Hamilcar's ships, turned back to relieve their comrades. They slammed into the Carthaginian ships, attacking the transports and the rear guard. The Carthaginian vessels were fast and agile, but once a corvus crashed down on their deck, it was over. Roman legionaries swarmed aboard, overwhelming the sailors in brutal hand-to-hand combat. One by one, Carthaginian ships were captured or sunk. The disciplined Roman lines held firm, while the Carthaginian attack dissolved into chaos. By the end of the day, Rome had won a crushing victory. The path to Africa was now wide open. With the Carthaginian navy shattered, Regulus and Vulso sailed their army across the Mediterranean unopposed. They landed near a fortified town called Aspis, also known as Clupea. After a short siege, the Romans captured the city, securing their first ever beachhead on African soil. They began to raid the rich countryside, striking fear into the heart of the Carthaginian Empire. The war had entered a new terrifying phase for Carthage. Rome had crossed a line from which there was no turning back. By landing an army in Africa, they had escalated the conflict to a fight for survival. But Carthage was far from beaten. On their home soil, they would adapt, regroup, and prepare to unleash a devastating counterattack against the invaders. Next time on Rome versus Carthage. The African campaign pushes inland, a Spartan mercenary arrives to save Carthage, and the fate of the Roman army hangs in the balance. Thanks for watching. Don't forget to subscribe for the next episode.